Hello everyone, it's Matt for Collectibles back here showing you guys some stuff I'm sending out to CSG for grading. A lot of vintage stuff in this, kind of low dollar or low grade vintage, and I'm really just looking to get authenticated. So with CSG's bulk submission at 12 bucks plus your shipping fees, and you're paying $13 to $14 per card, which you can't really beat if you're just looking to get things authenticated. Even going to CSG or PSA 30 or 50 bucks just doesn't make sense for some of these cards, but want to get them slabbed up. Haven't tried CSG for vintage at all. I did send a bunch of my childhood stuff back in there a few months ago. There's a video on here if you go find that for 200 cards. This is some other stuff I picked up, so we'll go through it. I think if some of these do get some good grades, there could be an opportunity to crack these and send them to other companies, but for 12 bucks, again, it's a good first pass. And then also here on the left, you see I've got some reholders I'm going to send in at 5 bucks a piece. So since I'm sending in another pretty large order of 68 cards here on the right and another 13 reholders, the reholders are nothing crazy, just 9 5s that we'll get a 10 with a new label. So we'll start with that. So I got them at Gil Hodges here. Topps Heritage Chrome Refractor 9.5. Just a cool looking card. They're picked up pretty cheap. It's numbered out of, what does that say, 568, I think it is. Numbered there. It's kind of hard to see. 568. So that'll come back at 10. Again, for $5. Just makes sense to get in the 10 label with a new label. I think it'll look better with the black label as well. That's one. This is Yammer Yager. This is actually one of the ones I sent in for my original collection. So it's 9.5. We'll get that in the 10 label. Griffey. Again, one of my original cards when I was growing up. Actually, later. That's right about when I stopped collecting originally, late 90s. Isaiah Thomas, 89.90. That's one of my original ones as well. Got a Rodman, 89.90 hoops. That's mine. Charles Barkley. This is again original from my original collection. And here's some stuff that I've picked up over the last 6 or 8 months. So I picked up a Saquon here in a 9.5, so I'll get that in a 10 label. This stuff here is really cheap. Devin Duvernay, Jalen Reagor rookie, Sterling Shepard Gold, numbered to 299 out of Luminance. You got a Jordan Love Luminance rookie, DeAndre Swift Luminance rookie, and this last one here is actually a pretty decent card. I picked this up. I got a pretty good deal on this. So it's Tom Brady, Upper Deck Gowdy, and it's the redback short print. So I saw this in a 9.5. Again, the red short print. These are kind of tough to come by. So I'm gonna send this back in and get in a 10 label. But this is a pretty good card. I just bought this recently actually. Found it on an auction. So some of the reholders I'm sending in. Now let's get through a bunch of this stuff. So I'm going to write down the grades I think they're going to get as I go through. A lot of these are going to be A's. Again, my goal here is to just get some of these authenticated. I'm pretty confident they're authentic, but it's easier to move them when they're in a label that says they're authentic. And for $12, you can't beat it. So these are 1952 Wheaties. These are all authentic grades. They're hand cut, so rarely do they grade these cards, but from anyone. If I get lucky, like a few of these will get a number grade, but I kind of doubt it. So got a Musial Portrait, a Musial Action Shot, Yogi Berra Portrait, Yogi Berra Action Shot, Phil Rizzuto Portrait, and then a Ted Williams Portrait. So these are all pretty valuable cards. I mean, the Williams Raw Authentic is $100 or so. The rest of these between $30 and $100 depending on what they are. So just looking to get these holdered, so we'll get that done. Next here we got a 1950 Campanella. You can see it's got pretty rough surface, which is why I'm not, if it were a better grade, I'd be sending it to SGC or somebody for a higher cost. But this is probably, I'm going to say it's a 3. Somehow some of the surface stuff won't impact it. If the surface stuff weren't there, I'd be confident saying it's probably more like a 4, but I'm going to say a 3 on the Campanella. If it comes back at 2, I wouldn't be too surprised there either. So let me just write these down just so I don't forget. So we got a 3 there. Next couple of these cards are strip cards. So this is a Harry Greb 1921 W551 boxing card. The next 2 are 1920 W519s, Billy Misk and George Carpentier, Hall of Fame. These are just authentic. So again, cut strip cards. You can see they're kind of cut bad. But again, for $12, I'm going to get them in a holder so they're easier to move. So far, really just looking for authentic in the first batch besides the Campanella that I'm hoping gets a 3. Next here, I got Leo DeRocher, Hall of Famer. This card's in really good shape. I'm going to say this does have a little bit of a wrinkle up there in the top left, it looks like. That mark's not on the card. That's on the, I think that's on that's on the sleeve. I'm going to say that's going to be I'm going to say that's a 4. Outside chance at a 5. I'll put 4 to 5 there. A little crease in the top left. Could bring it down. Doesn't go the whole way through though. But Leo DeRocher, Hall of Famer. We got a Robin Roberts here, 1950 Bowman as well. Bottom corner's pretty dinged up. I'm going to say this is probably a 3. Got some wax. So I think that's probably a 3. But it's a nice looking card. Presents well centered for this set. So we'll say the Roberts is a 3. Next we got a Rich Gossage rookie card. This card I thought about sending to SGC, but it's got like a bunch of, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a bunch of like surface marks on it. It's like got a raised surface, like it was exposed to something. I'm not sure how it's going to impact the card. It kind of looks like a print defect. But I have some other 73s, and they don't necessarily have that same issue. So because of that, I'm gonna send this to CSG first and see what happens. But it's well centered. Looks to measure right, and looks to be in great condition. So I mean, this could be as high as a 7, I think, depending on that surface stuff. You can kind of see the bumps a little bit in the screen. So I'm going to say a 7 if the surface doesn't impact it, but it could be as low as a 5, depending on what they say. But I'm going to say 7 there, hoping that the surface doesn't impact it too much. And this will go into my Hall of Fame collection when this comes back graded, if it comes back a decent grade. So this is what I'm sending back to put in my Hall of Fame baseball collection. Next here, Whitey Ford. This one I bought raw on eBay for a pretty decent price. I think I don't know, $10 or so. You always take a risk when you buy these raw on eBay, but this one came in well centered. It's 58 tops. I'm going to say this is probably I'm going to say this is a 5. I think this could get a 5. So it's got great color. Back looks well centered. A little bit off top to bottom, but the front looks better. So I'm going to say it's a 5 on the Whitey Ford. Next here we got a 71 Willie Stargell. Some of these cards were in a big lot. This is a big lot that I bought. I've already gotten a bunch of the cards graded and have come back in great grades. I've actually had a couple, like a George Foster rookie out of this, a Steve Garvey rookie, Bill Buckner rookie, I think, that got graded out of this. It came back, I think the George Foster came back at SGC 8, which is really high grade for the 71 top set. So this one looked good as well. I think this could get a 6. It's got some whitening, but again, this is a very tough set to grade. Well centered. Back looks good. I'm going to say the Stargell could get a 6. Maybe an outside chance at a 7. So we'll say 6 there on the Stargell. Next here we got a George Brett rookie, This one, unfortunately, when you look at it from here, it looks great. Looks like a pretty high grade card. Again, this is another tough set to grade with the colored borders. When you get up close, there is a wrinkle that goes through the card right here. So it kind of cuts up through the name, which is kind of unfortunate. And there's a wrinkle over here too, left to right. It comes about halfway through the card. So again, from here, looks like a great card. You get up close, there are a couple wrinkles. So I'm going to say this is probably a 3. They don't go through to the back, neither wrinkle, they're just on the front. So it's kind of unfortunate if they were on the back and didn't go to the front, it might be a higher grade, but I'm going to say it's a 3. And that's why I'm sending it to CSG for just to get encased. If it weren't and didn't have those wrinkles, it'd be going to SGC for grading. Next here we got an Aussie Smith rookie. You can see this one's off center. Off center on both sides. But pretty good corners. Surface looks good. I'm going to say this could probably get a 5. Let's say a 5 on the Aussie. The corner's a little bit soft, but looks pretty good otherwise. So, say a 5 on the Aussie rookie. Next here we got a Richie Ashburn. This is part of the same lot where the Whitey Ford came from. I bought a bunch of these cards with the same guy. I tried to negotiate with him. He said he was firm on his price, and the prices were still pretty good. I was gonna buy. I did buy a bunch. Wanted to see if he'd work with me, but he was firm on his price, and I mean, for good reason. These cards came in great shape, so as long as they're not trimmed, and I measured them, and they all measured fine, this should pay off. So that's a nice 1960 Richie Ashburn there. This is probably, got a little mark up there in the corner, some coloring there, but. So I think this could be a 6. I'm going to say this could be a 6. Surface looks pretty good. A little bit of corner issue. But again, you look at the card from here, that looks like a very nice card. Back looks great. I'm going to say that's a 6 on the Ashburn. Next we got a Wade Boggs rookie. Card looks pretty good. Edge wear, pretty standard for this set. 83 tops. I think this could be a 7. Centering looks great. Probably an outside chance of an 8 actually. The corners, the corners are pretty sharp. Just the edge wear on the bottom where it was cut. Back looks good. I'm gonna say that this could be a 7 on the Wade Boggs. So I'm going to put 7-8 there. I think that could get as high as an 8, depending on what they see. Next here, we got a Tony Gwynn rookie. See right away, off center. Corner's a little dinged up. Top corners look good, but the bottom's a little dinged up. Little mark up here, little paint mark. This is probably a... It's probably a 7 as well. I think this could pull a 7, maybe a 6. I'm going to say 6 to 7. So I'd be happy with a 6, but it could get as high as a 7. And then lastly here, I got a Billy Williams. Well, not lastly. Got a whole other stack to go through, but Billy Williams. This is 1972 Hall of Famer. It's not an extremely valuable card, but I thought it was in good shape. Very sharp corners. This is from the same guy that I bought the Ashburn and the Whitey Ford from. These cards came in very good shape. Actually, this might be from another lot. I can't remember, but either way, card's in good shape. Hall of Famer. I think this could be a 6. Just a little paint. Somebody's got a little paint on the edges. So off center, left to right. Top to bottom looks pretty good. So I'm going to say 6 on the Billy Williams. All right, flipping to the next page here on my list. All right, we got a Bert Blyleven second year card. This one's in great condition, which is why I'm sending it in. Hall of Fame pitcher. I do have his rookie card graded, so this won't be in my Hall of Fame collection, but will be available when it comes back. So another way, I think this could pull a 7, I think. The corners are relatively sharp, presents very well. Surface looks good. I'm going to say the Blyleven can get a 7. Next is Gil Hodges. This was definitely in the lot from the guy I bought on eBay. I didn't really intend to grade some of these until they came and they look so sharp. This Hodges looks, I mean, it's dead centered. This card presents extremely well. Great color. Got a print out here, a little fisheye there. But corners, I mean, for the age, 1960 tops, just like the Ashburn. Card's in great shape. I think this is another one could get a I'm gonna say 6 to 7 on this. The print dot, a little soft in the back, but I'll say 6 to 7 on this, on the Hodges. Hoyt Wilhelm, same lot as the other two. It's got a rough cut on the edge here. That's factory cut. You can just tell the way it's cut there. Rest of the card looks great. Again, good centering, maybe a touch off, but overall great centering, great color. That's 59 tops. Back looks good. I'm going to say a 6 just because of that edge, even though that's factory cut. I don't know how CSG would handle that. I know with SGC and PSA, they typically will let that go because it is a factory cut. But I'm going to say a 6, and we'll see how they treat that edge. I'm not going to mess with it. I mean, I could mess with it and try to clean it up, but that's just how the card comes. I'm not going to mess with it. Early Win. This is from the same set as well, or the same lot I bought. This one's a little more off center, but was a sharp card. Another 1960 tops. Back looks good. Just the front's a little off center, left to right. Because of the centering, got a little edge issue up here. I'm gonna say this is probably see how bad that edge issue is. I'm gonna call this a 4, but I think it could actually be higher than a 4. Let's say conservative 4. Just centering, edge issue. I think the card looks great. So we'll say it's a 4. Be a nice 4 if it comes back that way. Next is 1953 tops, Eddie Matthews. This is from, I mean, I've been buying a ton of vintages. I probably bought this card over a year ago as part of some huge vintage lots I bought, and just never did anything with these. This one you can see is creased. 53 tops, tough to come by, especially, I mean, Eddie Matthews, popular player, Hall of Famer, coming off a Braves World Series win, so because of the crease and the corners, I wouldn't be shocked if this came back a 1, but I think it's probably more like a 2. Just these edges are pretty rough, the corners are pretty rough in the crease. Maybe I'll call this a 1.5. 1.5 on the Eddie Matthews. I think there's another Eddie Matthews in there, actually, the same card further down. Next here, we've got a Carlton Fisk Rookie from 72. This one will end up in my Hall of Fame collection for Carlton Fisk. Bought this at the same lot as the others, the 60s lots that I bought there, so this came from the same one. I think this could be a 5. Got a little bit of an issue up there, but it's probably a 5 or a 6, just based on presentation, and centering's pretty good. So I think I'll call that a 5. See what happens. So say 5 on the Fisk. Walt Alston. I think this is his rookie card. This is another Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame coach. This is 56 tops, white back. I think I bought this with those other cards too, actually. This one's got the corners a little more soft. Get the same, we got a cut issue here on the bottom too, a little rough cut. Corners being a little soft. Centering looks pretty good, a little off left to right. Back looks great. Some little marks, but overall good. I'm gonna say this is a 4, just because of the corners. So I'll call the Walt a 4. That'll be in my Hall of Fame collection. So that's one I bought to get graded for that. This is a pretty unique card. Primo Carnera. This is a 47 Bond Bred. Blank back. I'm hoping CSG will grade this. I know some of the companies now will not grade these though, because they're so easily faked. So I think these may have been hand cut too. You can kind of see that. So I'm really just hoping for an authentic here. I just think it's a cool card, you know, from 47. Been buying a lot of old boxing stuff just because I think it's cool. So I'm going to say authentic here, but if they're able to grade it, it could be, I don't know, the surface pretty beat up, maybe a 3 or a 4, but I'm gonna put down authentic for this one. The Hall of Fame boxer. Next here, you got a 1934 Gowdy Marty Mcmanus. This card, it looks very well. Presents well. Got a little bit of bleed through here on the back from the red, which is standard with this age of cards. But card is pretty sharp for a 33 Gowdy. Yeah, 33 Gowdy. It's got some surface stuff, but I'm gonna say this is I'm gonna say this could be a 4. It could be a 4. So I don't know how they treat some of the surface stuff, but it looks very good for the age. So I'm gonna say the Mcmanus is a 4 and a Gowdy. Next here is a Griffey. This one I think I picked up on a lot. It's not from my original collection of Griffeys. It is numbered out of 10,000. These gold stars. I didn't send this anywhere else because I'm just not sure it can. I'm not sure it can gem, and there's some surface problems on it, like there's a print line or something that I saw. I remember where I saw it. If you look again, this is one of those ones, you look at it from here, the card is extremely sharp, almost dead centered. There is some whitening, slight whitening on the back, just because of the gold border. A little bit down here. But I think this could be a 9. I think it's a 9. That's why I'm going to still send it off. Numbered Griffeys from the 90s. I mean, just, they still sell well. They're still valuable. So I'm hoping I get a 9 on this Griffey. Next is an authentic one. This is our Peckinpah, Roger Peckinpah. This is 1921 W516-2 hand cut. So we're just looking for authentic in this one. You can see the cut's messed up, but looking to get authenticated 1921. Another 1933 Groudie Ben Cantwell. Got some writing on the back, rounded corners, Little surface issue. This is probably a 2. Would be my guess. Depends on whether they count these corners as cut or just rounded. If they're just rounded, it can be a 2. It could be an authentic though. But the coloring looks great. Looks like that's a pretty cool card. Unfortunately, somebody wrote on it. Who knows how long ago. So I'm gonna say a 2 on the Cantwell. Now we're getting into some other old boxing cards. These things are just pretty unique. I picked these up pretty cheap. This one's beat up, creased, heavily creased. Frank Claus, some Mecca cigarettes, guys from Pittsburgh, which is pretty cool. I grew up about 2 hours east of Pittsburgh. So I was still am a Pirates fan. I'm actually going to see a Pirates game this weekend with my brothers. But good centering on the back. Front's a little off. Pretty heavy creases. This is probably a 1 or a 1.5. Year on this is 1910. These are 1910s. I'm going to say a 1.5 on that. I don't know how much the creasing will impact it, but the coloring is good. So we'll say 1.5. I don't know. Again, for $12, I'm just trying to get these things authenticated. Next one, the 1910 Billy Edwards, World Champ. This one has the corner's a little more rounded here, so this may get authentic. If you compare, this one's the corner's a little slightly sharper. This one looks like it may have been intentionally rounded. So if that's the case, it'll be authentic. Does have some creasing. I don't know how they'll treat those corners, if they're bad enough to warrant authentic or not. If they don't warrant authentic, I think this could be probably a 2. So with the surface stuff. So I'm going to say a 2 on the Edwards. But wouldn't be surprised to see it come back authentic. Last here, Tug Wilson on the boxing. Another crease. I just think these are cool cards from 1910. Mecca Cigarettes cards. These actually are, if you look them up, they're under the T220 champion set. So that crease is gonna drive this one down. Corners are rounded. But again, coloring on this looks great. So I think this could probably get another. I'm going to say 1.5 on this one too, just because that crease is bad. So we'll say 1.5 on a Tug. Next, kind of a change of pace here. I picked up an Ichiro rookie card in anticipation that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. This will be waiting for him to get in the Hall of Fame, my Hall of Fame collection. I bought this raw, obviously. Thought it looked really good. Great centering. I actually bought this as part of a large, you're going to see a bunch of these cards coming up. We're all in the same lot. These are all on eBay. I reached out to a guy. He had a bunch of older stuff and some newer stuff listed. I made him an offer on a 24 card lot. He accepted. This Ichiro was part of that. So this Ichiro, there is some slight whitening, but this card looks pretty good. So I think this will definitely get a 9. There's a little bit of whitening in that corner. It's definitely going to a 9, but because of that centering, I think this could have an outside chance at a 9.5 with CSG. So I'm going to say 9, but hopefully I get a good surprise there and it comes back as a 9.5. All right, a bunch of these are going to come through as pretty much all these next ones are going to be authentic for the most part. Authentic. I mean, we might get some grays on these, but a lot of these are authentic. So this is Kiki Kyler, Hall of Famer, 1927 W560. This is a hand cut, like deck of card set. Got a stamp on the back, so I'm going to say authentic on that one. We got a Rabbit Marinville. This is 1923 W515-2. And again, you can see it's messed up. It's a hand cut card. So just hoping for authentic on that one. These are all part of that big lot. A lot of these came from the same guy, again, that I found on eBay. Not all of them, but most of them here. This is a George Graham. Back's all jacked up. Piedmont. And this is the gold border 1911 T205. So I'm just hoping for authentic there because of the back. These next ones are 1912 T207 brown backgrounds. That's going to be authentic, hopefully. The McLean. Some of these are okay. This one looks pretty good. This one probably, I think it is creased. So I think I can get a number grade on this one. I think you're probably looking at I'm going to say 1.5 just because that crease is pretty bad. But really, any number grades on these would be a bonus. So McLean, we'll say a 1.5 there. Same thing here. Crease right across the middle. Stained, authentic for that one. Strange or Stanage, creased, writing. I mean, that's probably a 1 because the back is intact. So I'll say a 1 on the Stanage. Next here we got Hugh Bradley, same creases. Guess these are all stored in the same pocket. Backs, these were obviously glued into something, so that's going to be authentic. Rucker, Brooklyn Nationals, authentic. We got Henriksen. Got a stamp on it, but this one looks pretty good. I don't see any creases. See the cracking on the. Yeah, I'm going to say this could be. This could be a 2 on the Henriksen. I think it's got enough on the back there to make this a 2. So we'll say a 2 on the Henriksen. We got Danforth. Another one here. It's intact at least. That's a good start, but pretty well creased. I'll say that's a 1. Try to fly through some of these. There's some pretty cool cards. You don't see these a lot. We got Pascart. I see someone over here. Traded to Chicago in 1918. That'll hurt the grade, but this is probably another 1. Okay, any number grade here would be a bonus. Tex Covington, Detroit, heavily creased, some writing. I'll say a 1 on that one too. See what happens. I would be pleased if all those came back authentic. If these just come back authentic, that's really what I'm looking for. This is a Vive Lindemann, ready to throw. This is a T206, 1990, 1911. You can see the back is all jacked up. So that's going to be authentic. Next one here, Thomas Seaton Cracker Jack. These are rare cards, 1915. Corner's been chopped off, unfortunately, because I think it would be a pretty good card if it weren't for that corner being chopped off. That's going to be authentic. Kind of unfortunate. Admiral Schley. These are gold borders, 1911 T205s. Authentic there. GL Herzog. Authentic there. These are all hand cuts, even though these look great, actually. So if they were going to grade hand cuts like this, these are 1928 W513s. These would be ones to grade because they are cut. I mean, it looks like they are cut to size. You can see the blue border around, which means they did get most of the card. But again, I'm going to say authentic. This one's a little off. Authentic on all these. Jack Delaney, Louis the Kid Kaplan, Jack Sharkey, and Billy Young Stribling. Just cool cards. All blank backs. So all authentics there. And now we are on to some newer stuff here. A couple newer ones. I'm actually grading this for a buddy from work. He's had this forever. So a friend gave it to him. It's the Jeter SP foil. It's Jeter's best rookie card. He's hanging on to it. He's been hanging on to it forever. He brought it in to work. Actually, I was traveling last week, and he was meeting up with me, so he brought it in because we've been talking about some cards. It looks pretty good. It's got some surface issues. It's not perfect. So I know they're very hard on grading this card, especially PSA. So I think this could. Surface is kind of tough, but the rest of the card looks decent. I think this could get a 6. I'm going to say a 6. He doesn't ever plan on selling this. If he planned on getting rid of it, I would probably send this into PSA or SGC. Probably PSA actually, and spend the money, but he's just going to keep it. So I'm just going to get it slabbed for him so he can protect it well, and he'll know the grade, and it'll be there for forever, really. He doesn't really ever intend to get rid of this. So we'll say a 6 on the Jeter. Hopefully we get a surprise there and it comes back higher. I picked this up in an auction lot recently, actually. I got this cheap. It was in a kind of a knockoff grading company's slab. I think they had it slabbed as a 9, but it's a Ray Allen refractor out of $9.99 from 2008, 2009 Topps Chrome. So these cards are rare. I mean, these are early refractors. Ray Allen Hall of Famer. The card looks really well. It's a little off center, but looks pretty sharp otherwise. Maybe a little bit of corner issue. I'm just hoping for an 8 on this. That's all I'm hoping for. The raw this card goes for like 30 or 40 bucks. So I'm hoping I get an 8. Not many graded versions of this that you see out there because the surface is tough. So not many people grade them, but this one looks pretty good. So I'm hoping for an 8 on the Allen. Next, we got a Joe Burrow I picked up at an auction. Slightly OC left to right. The rest of the card looks really good. So even the corners, usually these die cuts are tough to grade because the corners got a touch of whitening, but I think this could get a 9. That's what I'm hoping for. So it's his 2020 Blue Prism from Select die cut. So I think it's going to get a 9. I'm hoping it gets a 9. Here's a brown back another brown background that I somehow I put it in, but it got skipped, so I had to put it in later in the order. I don't want to start over. This looks pretty good though. It's got a little bit of a issue here in the top right. I mean, it's got more than just that. The card's pretty beat up, but this could be a 2. I think this could be a 2 just based on how the back looks. So now they're gonna achieve some of this like paper scuffing up here and lost the paper up there. So I think we'll call that a 2. We got to beat up Willie Mays. 1968 Topps. No reason to send us into any other company. This is going to come back a 1. This lived in some kid's pocket for a lot of years. Creased up top to bottom, left to right. But any William or any Mickey, did I say Willie Mays earlier? Any Mickey Mantle card you really want to get authenticated. So get authenticated. This one's beat up, but we'll get that in the slab for. It's going to be a 1. Got Goose Gosselin, another Gowdy. This one's got really rounded corners and some staining. So it's probably just a 1. Just because it's got a pretty heavy staining. So we'll say a 1 on the Goose Gosselin. And these last 4 are low grade 53 tops. I already showed you one of the Eddie Matthews I'm going to send in. If these are higher grade, I'd obviously send them somewhere else, but they're not high grade. They look good. The card right there it presents very well, but it's just creased. It's got creases. See them on the left there. You can see them on the right. If the card looked like this and weren't creased, I would send it somewhere else, but it is creased, so corners are worn. I think this is probably a 3, given the creases, but it presents well. So say a 3 on the Rizzuto. We got a Warren Spawn, 53 tops. This one I don't know that it's creased, but it's got some paper issues over here. Back looks good. Again, it's a pretty cool card. It looks good. Corners are pretty bad. I'll say this is a 3 as well on the Spawn. Campanella. You can see this one's miscut. It's been trimmed. You can see it's got the wave down the side here. It's also got a staple mark in it. So this is going to come back as authentic. But I'd rather spend a 12 bucks or whatever it is, 13 bucks and get it holdered for the old early Campanella as authentic than selling it raw. Just so, you know, people can see that it's here. It's obviously short and been trimmed. And the holes automatically would make the most to get as a 1, so the trimming just takes down authentic. It's okay though. And lastly, Eddie Matthews. Beat up. Corners are beat up down here. Surface is a little beat up. I don't know if this is a good higher or not than the other one. The other one I said I think a 1.5. Actually, I think this one could sneak out a 2. The corner's pretty rough, but I'm going to say this could be a 2. And that is it. So I'm going to send these off. I'm just sending these off bulk submission. 12 bucks a card, plus the 5 bucks a card for these. Total order with shipping, return shipping, and everything is a little over $1,000 bucks. Get these all done. So should be back in about. They've been turning around pretty quick, so I'm hoping I have them back in about 30 days. And I'll do another video to show you guys the grades. Sorry this is so long, but I wanted to get through these and show you guys some of the stuff I'm grading. Really hoping all the brown backgrounds and some of these that come back as authentic. I mean, that's the biggest risk, right? You buy these online. I looked them over. The pixelation looks right, but at the end of the day, you never know. These all look to be good to me, but I haven't really messed with these. I've messed with the T206s and some of the other stuff, but these brown backgrounds are pretty new to me. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you see anything that sticks out to you from these cards that I should be looking for, speak up. And then we'll be back here with another video to reveal the grades in, like I said, probably about a month's time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.